tip completely ignored by the people who did my next worst job. They were in the business of advertising quack medicines, and the gimmicks they used were as dodgy as the products. This is a toad. He's quite harmless unless you try to eat him, in which case he exudes this foul-tasting liquid which makes you feel pretty ill. And yet in Stuart times, there was actually a job which involved putting one of these little things into your mouth. Welcome to the weird world of the toad eater. Popping down the market was the nearest thing ordinary folk had to nipping down the doctors for a course of antibiotics. With the stallholders in search of a quick sale, it was a matter of putting your money where your mouth is. Why on earth did people eat toads?
Well, I think it's money. I think it comes down to money in the first place. These are people who are essentially the sidekicks of a quack doctor, someone who's trying to sell their medicines. And he's employing someone to either swallow a toad or pretend to swallow a toad as a means of demonstrating the powers of the medicine that the quack doctor wants to sell to his public. If you see someone actually swallowing a toad, which is meant to be poisonous, and seems to be recovering, then, wow, that's quite sensational.
Toad eater or toadie became the nickname for any kind of servile creep or crawler. In return for a few pennies, people were even prepared to eat tapeworms or dangle snakes round their necks. What kind of lives do you think these toadies would have lived?
Well, along with the quack doctor who employed them, I would have thought they were probably itinerant. A lot of quack doctors this period moved around. One, because you want to get away from the scene of the crime, so to speak, to satisfy clients. And the other thing is you moved around from fair to market around the region, because that's where all the custom is.
It's starting to get a bit frisky. Do you think they really did swallow them?
This is the question. I mean, in all the information we have, it's very unclear. You get sort of doubting comments in diaries in the 17th century saying, do you know someone who's actually sort of eaten one of these toads? And say, well, so-and-so told me they've eaten the toad. So, I mean, there's various options. One is they ate the toad and had suffered an upset stomach afterwards, which you would. I mean, you're not going to die from eating a toad. But certainly the sort of toxins in the skin there would make you upset. Perhaps they regurgitate it, and that's another option. My own feeling is that it's a con trick, you know, it's a bit of sleight of hand.
It's got to be.
Yes, I think so. I mean, it's just not worth the pain for the toad eater of indulging in this when perhaps, you know, he can practice and be a skilled bit of sleight of hand will do the trick just as well.
But modern science knows what the Stuarts didn't, that maybe a toad slipping down your throat wasn't as dangerous as the toad eaters made out. It wouldn't kill you, so the trick was safer than you might think. Right, I'm surrounded by curious onlookers. They all want this little thing to disappear inside me. Do I swallow it and throw it up afterwards, or do I just palm it? This is not a very nice idea, but...